Yes, 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 yes. I got to play a little music as I come on here. This is the rock music on Clock It with AD Brian. All right, enough of that. But I tell you, today's show is going to be fun. You know how it is. You know what I do. If you want to comment, please comment on YouTube at AD Bryant 34. That's AD Bryant 34. You can submit your comments, but you can follow me on Instagram at PABRY34 or it's underscore just underscore a underscore game underscore LLC, or you can follow us on X at Paul Bryant 34 or it's just a game 17. You can even follow us on Twitch at AKPACU 34. Yeah, it's a good show today. I got a guy that I think I've been knowing him for quite some time, but to see him go through what he's gone through and to do some of the things that he's done, it's remarkable. I'm excited. I tell you, I get fired up about some things, but before I bring him on, I'm going to show you our sponsors. We got some new sponsors this week, y'all. Uh, let me add our sponsors. Okay, it's coming. Here we go. You know what it is. It's Humble Bully. I ain't no bully, but don't push me. Our next sponsor is the Fellowship of Faith Church. That's Pastor Troy Garner, Fellowship of Faith. You know what? If you want to truly get the experience and get closer, you got to go to Fellowship of Faith down on Memorial Parkway. Next sponsor is Unseen Faith by Tyler Renee. Listen, this is a 30-day inspirational that I think you all should go look at. It's called Unseen Faith. Tyler Renee. Go check her out. Young black woman that is doing it big. And then it's Inspired by TA Timothy Alexander. His slogan is, we don't need it to be easy. We just need it to be possible. Listen up. This is exciting, y'all. We got some sponsors. I get excited. Sometimes I have to temper my excitement. But today, we have this guy. He's hails from, y'all already know. I don't even have to say it because you know where he's coming from. So we have some of the best talent in the beautiful city of Dayton, the great state of Ohio. Please join me in welcoming my boy, the recording artist, Sha Smoak.
I appreciate the round of applause and everything.
Hey, bro, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. So,
Good.
Smoak, before we
Good
start,
seeing you.
let me tell you how this thing goes.
Okay.
It's a 15-minute clock.
All right.
It's like, and you know a little bit about the clock, right?
Absolutely.
So when the clock strikes zero, the game is over.
Yeah, I'm done.
Unless there's an overtime. You done took them to the hole, laid it up, it's overtime. Then
Okay.
we have some sponsors that I just went through who actually sponsor some overtime. But I
Okay.
really want to get into it, man.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna start the clock. Then but before I start the clock, because I really want this to be said, man, how do you and I know each other?
Basketball coach. I mean, yeah, basketball, man. Day one. Scholarship. I mean, I feel like we're gonna get into it, but yeah, you took me out the mud, bro. You took me out the mud. You gave me a scholarship and changed my life.
Man, I'm so proud of you. So I'm gonna start the clock. All right, let me start. So the clock is started. 15 minutes. All right, Sha Smoak, you were an excellent ball player. What made you change into an artist?
I was always creative. Am I supposed to answer these fast to say against the clock or just go?
Oh no, just go,
okay,
brother.
You sound like you fired it off. Okay. I think it was always there. I was always a creative as a kid. I got all the pictures with the microphone and the performance pictures in the hallway that when you got the mom's photo album. So I think it was always there. Um, and like I guess the way that it kind of happened though is what other people. Well, I guess they know this by now. I'm a barber as well, and
Oh, that's right.
trade as well. So when going through barber college, I ran into a homie that actually heard like some little demo stuff I did in the studio, just messing around, and he kind of was like, "You should take this serious," and I ain't paid no attention. He booked the studio time and actually wrote a record. Like he did a bunch of stuff on his own to make me pay attention to what he was doing. We put out a record together. It went crazy in the city, and at that point, I was a rapper.
So, of course, we all know you in the city. We know that just how impactful you've been. But how do you relate hooping to being an artist? Because you were one of my best hoopers that I coached.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. How do I relate it? Like hooping is crazy because I think you probably get this a lot. It reflects not just being an artist. It teaches you the professionalism for one thing. So what it taught me is it teaches you a lot about life in general. It teaches you about discipline. Like I woke up every morning at 4:30 a.m. to get to those 6 a.m. practices. You know what I mean? So that taught me early on, like the dedication and the discipline that you gotta have yourself to do something like this artist stuff because ain't nobody gonna do it for you. I think basketball that's one of the main lessons. Basketball for me, it taught me discipline, kind of put some structure in my life.
So you say discipline.
Absolutely.
Now I'm gonna take you
What you about
back
to say?
to I'm gonna jump ahead of myself, but you say
Okay.
discipline. But when I, as a coach, I ask you again, your talent level was some of the best that I've had. And I'm not just this is no hyperbole, I'm just telling you. But when I ask you to go to the hole, what did you want to do?
You want the? I shot a lot of that. It didn't take me seeing. I'm glad you say that because a lot of people think my game now is a reflection of he sees Steph and like, nah, I shot threes. I wasn't going.
I know
Threes was worth more than two. I shot three.
but if you went to the hole, what happened?
No, you 100% right. I remember a game against Edison State where I remember, you might not even remember this. You called up to the barbershop because you knew I was going there after shoot around. You had a lot to say about what we was gonna do in game planning, but you said for me, let's just go to the hole tonight. Let's just see what happens. And it's one of the best games statistically that I had that year. So it's like I get it, but that ain't what I was doing, coach.
I know.
Ronnie said shoot the ball.
You know what? I'm glad you have really grown up and have discipline to really excel at that at your craft. I'm going to take a sidebar and look. I'm looking at your wall. Now there's a platinum record on your wall. What is that?
That's so that's a record that is kind of came out of nowhere. Shout out to my homie, my producer, my homie Sleep D's. But he put together a situation. He was working with Jake Paul before Jake Paul started boxing. Right after Jake Paul, so a lot of people don't know Jake Paul was a Disney kid, but Disney said, "Yo, we can't handle this guy." So like he went his own way. So he became opposed to them. And so he wanted to do music and he wanted to do gangster music. And so, that went through my producer, homie Sleep, and he brought me in on the project. So we ended up writing some music for him. And one of the ones we wrote, we went and got Gucci Mane for the feature. And so Jake Paul and Gucci Mane went platinum on a record called It's Everyday, Bro. And I wrote it and Sleep produced it, and that happened.
Oh man, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's great, man. That's awesome. Now, do you have any more? What about yourself?
I do. Yeah, man, I had a couple of things. So first record I ever wrote was with Marilyn Manson, Kevin McCall, Marilyn Manson, and then I did some stuff. Obviously, released my own stuff, and I had a record called Shine that did 2 million plus, and so we got plaques for that over there. Yeah, it's a lot going on, man. It's been a blessing.
Hey man, really changed from those days, those early morning practices. So,
Yeah,
what part of
yeah,
the industry do you like the least and the most?
at least. Um, I'm gonna steal this from Will Smith. I heard Will Smith say something about, back like when I first chose to pursue this, I think exclusivity was key.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't really big on, like, I'm an only child and somewhat introverted. Like,
right.
so the fact that you got to do a lot of this,
Mhm.
showing life to people and being on the inside of that, like letting people inside, I should say, like that's probably the thing that has been the most challenging. But other than that, man, like I'm a creative kid that gets to wake up and be creative every day. So I don't. It's not really a bunch I hate. Just I'm getting
See,
better at sharing.
doesn't it feel good to be able to do what you love and wake up and do it every day?
A blessing, man. And you know what? I want to throw something in that you didn't ask me. Like, because I think we talked about Tony, my homie Tony Rock,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
not to name, but that's not to name drop. What that is I'm the reason I moved to LA is because it was Tony's suggestion. Like, yo, I think you should come out there and pursue what y'all doing musically and all that. I say that to say when I got here, I was able to be around rich people a lot more than normal people are able to be around rich people. But what you do is you start to see that their life is like the same. They just don't worry about bills. And so it
Right.
starts to make you think it's not the money that's important, it's the happiness. You know what I mean? Like you going in and out of these, how you come from where we come from, you start going in and out of these situations. It's like, but they chasing happiness too. So let's just find that, like you get
That's
it.
right. You know what? That's something that you say that because every day, you know what I do. I'm a director of athletics and then I'm an
Mhm,
entrepreneur. Always been that way. I've always had businesses, but
for
it's
sure.
it's about just truly enjoying what you do and finding that happy point. And you have found that, man. So,
Yeah.
if you did have one thing that you could change, what would it be other than
Change.
going to the hole? Go ahead.
But that is that in itself. At this point, understand. So the other thing I say, and shout out to our homeboy Los, man. Carlos Knox became like a
Carlos
mentor
Hyde.
for me. Yeah, he became like a mentor for me, like right after I left junior college, and he just showed me what professionalism was, and showed
Mhm.
me what I wasn't applying myself, like why I wasn't where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
That's the thing I would change earlier. Like if I would have took his mentality into meeting you, we'd be having probably different conversations at this
I'm sure
point.
we would. We
Yeah,
could have been watching. You would be retiring from
I
the league right about now.
it's validating for me to hear you say that because you somebody that watch me every day, and I tell my wife that I'm not one of those guys that just sit on the couch like, oh, I would have, but it's like, oh my god, I see where I could have, like you know what I mean? Yeah,
But you just said validation, and I know in one of your songs you says never do things for validation.
right,
That's
for
what you
sure.
say.
That is that
And
is.
then you say you never chase any clout.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think you can lose yourself, man. We got a lot of people going through a lot of things in public now because they may have lost themselves a bit, and like I think that's so living out here and being in Los Angeles and being around some of the things you're able to be around, especially in this industry. I think people often, I've seen it a million times, you get lost in that. You come out here creatively and chasing the art, but you end up chasing something else and you kind of lose. So I think you just got to be careful, be aware of that. I ain't gonna say be careful, just be aware. Don't start seeking people's validation. Like we came in here to do something that came in here to let people see what your creativity looks like to the world, not
Hey,
what they think of your creativity. Like so,
that's a
yeah.
fact. That's one of those clock it, clock it. Yeah.
The
'Cause this
word.
is called Clock It with AD
Yeah.
Bryant.
I hope I said it right because I'm kind of freestyling it, but as I'm trying to get everything I mean out. You know what I mean?
Oh no, you said it right. You said it right.
Okay.
That's dope. It's dope. Um, who is your favorite artist to work with?
Favorite. Um, Curveball, man, Saya. I don't know how many people met. So it's cool. Like again, Marilyn, Marilyn Manson was the funniest. That made that funny. And like again, shout out to Kevin McCall because he put that situation together. But Marilyn Manson, they see him as this rock star that, you know, and all, but
Yeah.
I mean, he was the first one. He said, he's like, we was talking about a Laker game or something. He was like, speaking of Magic Johnson, he said, how do you run into that type of luck with a name like Magic Johnson? Like, this is 10 years ago, bro. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy?
So
So
listen
look,
to what he just said. Literally.
my fault. Like I kept it clean, but yeah.
No, but listen to what he just said.
Yeah.
Well,
So like,
that's funny.
exactly. So like, but shout out to Saya because I think Saya is the first person to like take me on the road. Saya, she was signed to Tank, but you know, big female artist, like she doing big things. But she was the first person to take me on the road, take a chance on me out here. I had nothing going on, and she was like, "I like what you're doing." So she my favorite.
So wait a minute. You just literally just left Dayton and went straight out to LA.
Yeah.
With
I'm
nothing.
looking at your clock too.
Oh no, you good. It's
so, so now we put out that record.
Yeah.
That record did well. It was a record called Ballin'. And, man, it did a lot of things. It turned Kev, my best friend, into my DJ. And he's still that. But so that record did a lot of things and it made things move. At that time, Nelly had popped off big, I think, and like people, you know, so the deals were coming to people's city, grabbing them up. That wasn't happening for me quick enough. And in that process, I met Tony. He was in the city on tour. He heard the record and was like, I want to meet this kid. I think we did an interview on the radio. He's like, I want to meet this kid. He invited us out to a show. And then after that, he invited me to LA to his birthday weekend. And that changed my life. That weekend changed me and Kev and our other homie. That changed our life. And it was like, yeah, we're moving here. That's how that happened.
So, but I think you glossed over who Tony Rock is.
Yeah, Chris Rock's brother, man.
Oh, okay.
Chris Rock's most loyal brother ever. Hates Will Smith to death. Like, but yeah, that's Chris Rock's brother. But honestly, he's like a big brother to me, man. And again, invited us to a comedy show in Dayton. We ended up taking him out to a club that night, and he's been one of my closest friends ever since. So that's been 12 years ago.
So if I know you do tours and that sort of thing, but you said something. You always read back to front and then last to first. Kind of explain that.
It ain't even profound, bro. It's like I'll pick up a magazine and I think I want to know if it was going to be interesting. Like, so I'll see what this was going to be about. Or like I'm a person that in school, this is the part that where it may apply. In school, I was never a person that could show the work. I didn't want to show the work on an algebra equation. I just knew 7x and equals 21. X must be 3. But like, so I would always put the answer there and then be like, all right, I got to go back and show how I did this. So I think it became a habit. Now it's just a ridiculous thing that happens all the time.
Right. So I know who you are. We got to thank you. You know, your info, your link. What is it called? Your link tree.
Link tree. Yeah.
It's scrolling at the bottom. But Smoak, you go on tour. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about coming to Alabama A&M?
I want to do, man. We got to talk about that. Like, so my plan this summer is put out. I ain't gonna say a million records for literally, but my plan this summer is we're about to just keep releasing, and then there's no reason that because the one thing I haven't done is a real college tour. And if I'm gonna do a college tour, I kind of want it to be a black college tour, like it. So like I just want to start. I want to get down south and start doing this. So your school is on our hit list.
Okay, so let's be clear, everybody. Where are you gonna start?
It's there, Alabama A&M. Let's get it.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Smoak, let me tell you something, man. It's it's a pleasure.
Tell your DJs around there to holler at me too, because we got to get me there. So like, I want to get with the. I know I know you know what's going on around campus because I know you.
You know that's what we do now. We get it popping here. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It has been my pleasure again to see your matriculation from a hooper to an artist to a
Man, thank you.
platinum selling artist. There's
Yeah,
not a
so
lot of times people get platinum artists on their show. So I want to thank you for being a part of Clock It with AD
nah,
Bryant.
nah,
Now,
thank you for having me, man. It's my
man,
pleasure.
now when I come out to LA,
You already know. We did dinner last time, so I ain't gonna. You know where I'm at. Did a
we
nice
go.
dinner too. You tell them the story. We did a nice dinner, looking
Yes,
at the
we
views
did.
and that. Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody, that's the show. But remember, it's just a game. So be humble, stay humble, but more importantly, be your best. And as we sign off, we say, God bless, peace.